There comes a moment in every complicated relationship when words stop working and silence becomes the only honest language left. There comes a time when chasing someone only pushes them further away, when explaining yourself only creates more confusion, when fighting for something means stepping back and letting the other person decide if what you built together is worth fighting for too. This is a story about the power of silence, about the strength it takes to be distant when you want to be close, and about what happens when you give someone the space to make a choice that will reveal who they truly are and what you truly mean to them. Natasha was 32 years old and had spent the last 8 months feeling like she was slowly disappearing. She was in a relationship with Marcus, a man she had been dating for 2 years, and somewhere along the way, their connection had shifted from mutual effort to one-sided desperation. Natasha could not pinpoint exactly when it happened, but she knew how it felt. Like she was always reaching out, and he was always just barely within reach. Close enough to keep her hoping, but distant enough that she never felt secure. Marcus was 34 and worked in finance. He was charming, intelligent, and emotionally unavailable in ways Natasha had not fully recognized when they first started dating. In the beginning, he had been attentive and affectionate. He had pursued her, made her feel special, talked about a future together. But over time, that intensity had faded. He became busier with work, less responsive to texts, more likely to cancel plans at the last minute. When Natasha tried to talk to him about feeling neglected, he would apologize and promise to do better. But nothing actually changed. For months, Natasha had been the one initiating every conversation. She would text him good morning. She would ask about his day. She would suggest plans for the weekend. And Marcus would respond, but minimally. He would say he was busy. He would say he was tired. He would say next week would be better. But next week never was. Natasha felt like she was in a relationship with someone who liked the idea of having a girlfriend, but did not actually want to put in the work of being a boyfriend. Her friends had started to notice. They would ask why Natasha was always the one making plans, always the one traveling to see Marcus instead of him coming to her, always the one accommodating his schedule. Her best friend, Claire, had finally said what Natasha had been afraid to admit to herself. He is only with you because you make it easy for him. If you stop doing all the work, would there even be a relationship left? That question had haunted Natasha for weeks. She did not want to believe it was true. She wanted to believe that Marcus loved her, that he was just going through a stressful time at work, that things would get better. But deep down, she knew Claire was right. Natasha was holding their entire relationship together by herself, and she was exhausted from the effort. So on that gray Monday morning, Natasha made a decision that terrified her. She decided to stop. Stop texting first. Stop making plans. Stop asking how he was doing. Stop being the one who cared more. She decided to be silent and distant, not as a game or manipulation, but as a test of reality. She needed to know if Marcus would notice her absence. She needed to know if he would reach out when she stopped reaching. She needed to know if their relationship could survive without her constant effort to keep it alive. The first day was the hardest. Natasha woke up and her instinct was to send Marcus a good morning text, like she did every single day. But she stopped herself. She put her phone down and went about her morning routine without reaching out. No text, no call, nothing. It felt strange and wrong, like she was doing something cruel. But she reminded herself that stepping back was not cruel. It was necessary. She needed to see what would happen if she gave Marcus space to choose her instead of being chosen by default because she would not let him forget about her. The first day passed. Marcus did not text. Natasha told herself that was fine, that one day meant nothing. The second day passed. Still nothing from Marcus. Natasha felt anxiety creeping in. What if he did not notice? What if her silence did not matter to him at all? The third day passed. The fourth day. By the end of the first week, Natasha had not heard from Marcus once. Not a text, not a call, not even a casual social media interaction. 7 days of complete silence from a man who was supposedly her boyfriend. Natasha was devastated, but she was also starting to see the truth clearly for the first time. If Marcus could go an entire week without talking to her and not even notice something was wrong, then she had been right to step back. If he did not miss her, did not wonder why she had gone quiet, did not care enough to check in, then their relationship was already over. She had just been too afraid to see it. On the 10th day, Marcus finally texted. The message was casual, almost dismissive. "Hey, been busy with work. What are you up to this weekend?" There was no acknowledgement that they had not spoken in over a week. No apology, no concern. Just a casual assumption that Natasha would be available whenever he finally decided to make time for her. Natasha stared at the message for a long time. She felt a mixture of relief that he had finally reached out and anger that it had taken so long and that his message was so thoughtless. She drafted several responses. She typed out a long message explaining how hurt she was, how his lack of effort made her feel invisible, how she needed more from a relationship. But then she deleted it because she realized that explaining herself again would not change anything. She had already told Marcus how she felt multiple times, and he had not changed. Words were not going to fix this. Only his actions could, and his actions were telling her everything she needed to know. So instead, Natasha sent a simple response. "I have been thinking a lot lately. I think we need to talk in person. Are you free this week?" Marcus responded that he could meet her on Saturday. When Saturday came, they met at a coffee shop that was neutral territory, not one of their usual places. Marcus arrived 15 minutes late, which was typical for him. He sat down across from Natasha and smiled like nothing was wrong, like they were just having a normal catch-up. "So what did you want to talk about?" Marcus asked, taking a sip of his coffee. Natasha took a deep breath. "I wanted to talk about the fact that we did not speak for 10 days and you did not seem to notice or care." Marcus looked confused, then defensive. "I've been really busy with work, Natasha. You know that. I did not realize it had been that long." "That is exactly the problem," Natasha said quietly. "I stopped texting you, stopped calling you, stopped being the one who initiated every single conversation we have had for months. And you did not notice for 10 days. That tells me that I am the only one actually invested in this relationship. That tells me that if I disappeared tomorrow, it would take you over a week to even realize I was gone. Marcus shifted uncomfortably. That is not fair. I told you I have been busy. Work has been insane. Being busy is not the same as not caring, Natasha said. I've been busy too. I work full-time. I have responsibilities. But I still made time to think about you, to reach out to you, to try to maintain our connection. You only think about me when I force you to by putting myself in front of you constantly. And I am tired of it, Marcus. I am tired of being the only one trying. Marcus was quiet for a moment. Then he said something that confirmed everything Natasha had suspected. I don't know what you want me to say. This is just how I am. I am not good at the whole constant communication thing. I thought you understood that. I do understand that, Natasha said. But what you do not seem to understand is that relationships require effort from both people. I am not asking you to text me every hour or be available every second. I am asking you to show me that I matter to you, that you think about me, that our relationship is a priority, even when it's not convenient. And you are telling me you cannot do that because that is just how you are. So I need to decide if I can accept a relationship where I am always going to be the one caring more, where I am always going to feel like an afterthought. Marcus looked uncomfortable. So what are you saying? Are you breaking up with me? Natasha felt tears welling up, but she kept her voice steady. I'm saying that I stepped back and gave you space to choose me, and you did not. I'm saying that for 10 days I was silent and distant, and you did not fight for me. You did not miss me enough to reach out. You did not even notice something was wrong until I forced this conversation. So yes, Marcus, I think we should break up. Because I deserve someone who chooses me without me having to beg for it. I deserve someone who notices when I am gone. And you deserve someone who does not need as much from you as I do. We are not right for each other, and my silence proved that. Marcus looked shocked, like he had not expected this outcome. Wait, I do care about you. I don't know, maybe I've been taking you for granted. Maybe I can change. Natasha shook her head sadly. You have said that before, multiple times, and nothing changes. I do not think you are a bad person, Marcus. I think you are comfortable with what we have, and comfort is not the same as love. I was silent and distant to give you the opportunity to show me I was wrong, to show me that you would fight for us. But you did not. You only paid attention when I forced you to. And I cannot spend my life forcing someone to care about me. They ended the conversation shortly after that. Marcus tried a few more weak protests, but Natasha could see that he was not truly devastated. He was surprised and maybe a little wounded in his pride, but he was not heartbroken, and that told her everything she needed to know. She had made the right decision. In the weeks that followed, Natasha felt lighter despite the sadness of ending a 2-year relationship. She had stopped waiting for Marcus to change. She had stopped making excuses for his lack of effort. She had given him a clear choice through her silence: step up or let her go. And he had let her go. That hurt, but it was also clarifying. She no longer had to wonder if she was asking for too much or being too needy. She now knew that she had simply been asking to be loved with the same effort she was willing to give, and Marcus was not capable of or willing to do that. 3 months later, Natasha met someone new. His name was David, and he was everything Marcus had not been. He texted her first. He made plans. He showed up on time. He noticed when she was quiet and asked if everything was okay. He made her feel like she mattered without her having to work for it. And Natasha realized that what she had thought was just her being too demanding was actually just her basic needs not being met. She was not asking for too much. She had just been asking the wrong person.